Winners and losers from Sunday's action, next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers here with Adam Azer to talk about some of the biggest winners and losers from Week 10's action on Sunday. But first, we've got some injuries to talk about, unfortunately, and they are some pretty big ones and none bigger than Cooper Kupp, who left Sunday's game late with what looked to be a pretty ugly ankle injury. He was able to put some weight on the ankle while walking around on the sideline, but obviously that doesn't necessarily mean he avoided a serious injury. I think the big concern looking at it would be some kind of high ankle sprain, which that's usually a multi-week absence. It's not always. Sometimes you'll see guys come back without missing time, but let's not forget Jerry Jeudy missed 6 weeks last season with a high ankle sprain. I remember Saquon Barkley in 2019. He came back after 3 games, but he wasn't really the same guy for another month or so. I guess the good news is there were actually a lot of really promising young wide receivers who flashed in Week 10, and in Christian Watson's case, more than flashed. 4 catches for 3 touchdowns, 107 yards for him. He also had Kadarius Toney score his first touchdown of the season. Paris Campbell had a good game. Donovan Peoples-Jones was great. Of those 4 in particular, how would you rank them if you need a Cooper Kupp replacement?
Ooh, okay. So Cooper Kupp replacement. So we need to know about Juju Smith-Schuster's status.
Yeah,
because that would affect and Mecole Hardman's status. I'm not going to put Toney first though. I'm going to put Donovan Peoples-Jones 1.
Interesting.
Christian, I forgot the 4th one. Who is it?
Paris Campbell.
He'll be last.
Okay.
Even though he's got a nice little PPR floor and he's got 18 or more PPR fantasy points in the last 3 games he's played with Matt Ryan, but he scored a touchdown on all 3 of them. So we'll go Peoples-Jones, we'll go Watson, Toney, and Campbell, and I'll reserve the right to completely reverse that by Tuesday.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think if you needed one to start for next week, I might feel most comfortable with Paris Campbell just with that PPR floor with Matt Ryan. I think it's 31 targets in the last 3 games that he's played with Matt Ryan. He was a complete non-factor in the Sam Ehlinger games, but he's looked pretty good with Matt Ryan. Also, shouts to Matt Ryan for a career-long 39-yard run today. Maybe the most improbable thing we saw in the entire week. Some other injuries that we need to know about coming out of Week 10. Khalil Herbert and Leonard Fournette both left their games with a hip injury. Leonard Fournette does have a bye in Week 11. However, if he were to miss time, Rachaad White would, I think, be the clear number 1 option on waivers, even coming into a week where he's on a bye if we found out Fournette was going to miss some serious time. And actually, Rachaad White going to be one of the biggest winners of this week anyway, just because he got the start here. He played 32 snaps to 21 for Leonard Fournette heading into the 4th quarter before the injury, so might just be the lead back there. Zach Ertz also left with what looks like it could be a multi-week knee injury, and like you mentioned earlier, Juju Smith-Schuster left with a concussion. That was a scary situation. Obviously, we don't know what his status will be moving forward. He'll have to go through the concussion protocol. But this is the 4th concussion that Juju Smith-Schuster's had in his NFL career. So that's a little concern moving forward. And the last time he had a concussion, he did miss a game. Let's move on to some winners and losers. And, I think Christian Watson, definitely a winner. Rachaad White, definitely a winner. Let's get another winner from you, Adam.
Yeah, I just want to point out with Christian Watson that I think Trayvon Diggs was on. Actually, you called this. I didn't think this would happen. Trayvon Diggs was on Allen Lazard a lot more than I anticipated. So I think that opened up the door for Watson. But he's definitely a winner. Jeff Wilson is a huge winner. They're going into a bye, but he's clearly got to be the running back that you're starting for the Dolphins. They have such an explosive offense that these guys are going to probably outperform your typical touchdown expectations. But Wilson is definitely a winner. Very encouraged about that. So that'd be one place I'd start. Christian Kirk, we called him a bye high. So he's another guy that's going into a bye week, but when he's got great matchups, he can be outstanding. I think we saw Gabe Davis be really good in a non-conventional Gabe Davis way. He wasn't beating you over the top. He was actually, a more well-rounded receiver running in short and intermediate routes and those things like that. So it was nice to know that you can still turn to Gabe Davis and get some big weeks, even if Josh Allen wasn't really chucking it downfield as much.
All right, let's talk about some losers. And I think the biggest one might be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who played 4 snaps. I don't think he was hurt. I haven't seen anything on that. He just wasn't part of the game plan, and it kind of makes this Chiefs backfield a lot more interesting for fantasy. If it's just Isaiah Pacheco gets the running downs, Jerick McKinnon gets the passing downs, that's a lot better than this 3-way mix that we've had. But who's another loser for you?
The Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are coming off a bye week. They're coming off a bye week. They're facing a team that was missing so many important players, and they scored 10 points against the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans defense had been playing a lot better. I mean, even if you looked at that Chiefs game, I thought they played pretty well, but they got pretty beat up in that game. And Simmons didn't play, and Dupree didn't play, and Cunningham is on IR. I mean, those are three of maybe their best players. So it was embarrassing. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
And they lost Jerry Jeudy, and Sutton is worth starting if Judy's out, but he's like Paris Campbell to me. I have no faith in them anymore. I was hoping they could get things figured out during the bye. They have a soft schedule coming up. Can they do it again against the Raiders? That's the only great game that Wilson's had, maybe, but I have very little faith to know.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd see Wilson kind of take a step forward coming out of the bye week, and the fact that we didn't, I think, does make it pretty fair to lose most of your hope for this Broncos offense. What a disaster, what a disappointment. And that's going to do it for Fantasy Football Today in 5. For more of the Week 10 recap, make sure you listen to the full episode of Fantasy Football Today. We'll see you tomorrow to talk about the Week 11 waiver wire. Take it easy.